Hey guys, video 4 on taxonomy and evolution. This video is on Charles Darwin, and his theory of evolution has been evolved into what we call the modern theory of evolution, and his points are all still valid today. Obviously we have way more information than when he did it in the 1850s. So the one video that's real important you guys watch is what Darwin never knew. It's the last assignment you have in your package there. It will explain and connect all 4 of our units together and show you all the genetics, DNA, and evolution, how it all fits together. It's an incredible video. So let's talk about Darwin. Darwin was a naturalist. He was from England, and he started out, he was going to be a doctor and just couldn't cut it, didn't like the surgeries and that. Traveled on a ship called the HMS Beagle, went around the world for almost 6 years, and he got off at a lot of points. He collected a lot of fossils, collected a lot of organisms, and he started to fabricate this concept in his mind of how he would find so many organisms that looked a lot alike but had some differences. And this got him thinking about evolution. How did these guys get a little bit different from each other? He came up with the idea of what we call natural selection today. In farming, we do selection, all right? If you're a horse breeder or an animal breeder, you pick the right male to go with the right female. Dog breeding, same thing. That is selective breeding. Natural selection happens in nature. And in natural selection, individuals and organisms that are best suited for their environment, so they have a lot of good traits for where they're living, they will survive, they will have offspring, and they will pass on those good genes. All right? That hopefully keeps that organism healthy, well, and moving forward. We know the ones that do not adapt or are able to survive in their environment, they go extinct. All right, we've had over 99% of the living things on the earth have gone extinct. There's still 6-7 million species, but there's over 70 million that have gone extinct. The only way we find them is through fossils, etc. Now, he explained his theory in 6 main points. I'm going to just go through them quickly here. The book has lots on this. Overproduction. Every organism produces more offspring than are needed to keep that number up. That means lots are going to die. And in theory, the weak die, the strong survive. Competition. Competition between organisms. You know, there's predators and there's prey, but there's also competition within your group, within your species. For sexual selection, you know, who are the strongest members mate with the females. Competition for food. All right, in a group, in a small area, you got a whole bunch of organisms. They're always competing. All right, the strong will survive. Variation and adaptation. Every individual has little differences, little variations. You know, some of us are tall, some of us are wide. You know, all of these things. We talk about the giraffe's neck. Giraffes used to have short, medium, and long necks. And through many situations where the environment changed, the long neck guys survived. The short and medium neck giraffes went extinct. So that was their competition. Their variations, the long neck variation became the winner. All right, that was their adaptation or their strength that really made them sort of the ones that are left over now today. Natural selection, then we have all this competition between members of a species. We have predators and we have prey. There is a selection process there, all right? Nature is a violent place. There are many organisms that eat each other, kill each other. And in theory, the best will survive and pass those genes on. And lastly, speciation. If enough members of an organization or a group have enough small little changes over a lot of period of time, we can have a branching. All right, that's speciation. So in Darwin, he was looking at these little finches, little wee birds on the islands in the Galapagos Islands, 13 islands there. On each island, he found a finch. but some had great big strong beaks, some had little long beaks for poking. And he thinking to himself, this used to be one species, now there's sort of 13 variations of these guys. We had a speciation or a change event that made them all a little bit different from each other. And they literally would not interbreed in nature anymore. So once they do not interbreed with each other, we would then call them a different species. So they would have 13 different types of finches in the Galapagos, right? And there's thousands of examples that we can do with this, but that's why there's so much biodiversity. Why is there so many different organisms? Because of this natural selection that leads to speciation events. There is always going to be new organisms because of this concept, and there will always be extinctions, organisms going extinct because they can't compete in the world. We know with the global climate change and some of the other things going on caused by us, extinctions are on the rise. And so they just can't compete in the new world that's been created by man. Okay, the last one, guys, I will give to you in a week or two.